Hello everyone, and that little stupid screen popped up, and the dogs are gonna jump off my bed. I think one did. Frank, are you gonna stay? Okay. So hello everyone. I'm sick, and I got sick today, out of the blue. I'm not very happy about it. My throat really hurts, and now my nose is all weird, and you can hear it in my voice now, which is just great. I thought I'd do a little small update of sorts, because I've been doing a shit ton of tag videos, but I thought that just doing a little life update would be good. So, in my previous videos, I was talking about my weight loss thingy-mabob, and I went about 5 weeks without eating meat, and I felt really good. I wasn't really losing weight. I was fluctuating between the same 5 pounds, which was just annoying as hell. But energy-wise, I felt more animated and happy. But sadly, even though I did take supplements, my iron level kind of plummeted, and I would get really lightheaded and dizzy and feeling quite faint. And I know that could be a mixture of like iron and vitamin B12, which I was taking both, supplements for both. But so that got really kind of bad and made me feel really uncomfortable. And even though I was feeling energetic when those little spells would happen, I just felt like crap. Because I do have an iron deficiency problem, and I should have thought that through a bit more before deciding to take that no meat leap. So I'm back to eating meat, just because the supplements were not enough, and those spells have ended. Not feeling lightheaded, dizzy, faint, whatever anymore. And it was really kind of hard for me to eat meat again, just because it made my stomach feel really upset and me not feel good about myself and whatever. But I don't have those spells anymore. So as much as I really don't want to eat meat. I have to. So that's what has happened. Another thing that has happened is that my back has gotten fixed quite recently, like last week. A week today, yeah. And so I will explain to you the wonder of it, and if you don't believe in chiropractors or whatever, you don't have to watch this, and I don't want you to leave a shitty mean comment. So just find another video. So about 10 months ago, April of last year, I had taken a Zumba class. Very high impact. One stupid class, very high impact. Our professor didn't allow us time to stretch out or cool down. And there was a lot of bending low and twisting that hurt my back. And I didn't know exactly what had happened, but I knew after class that something wasn't right in my back. I hurt a lot more than I ever taking another Zumba class. And so the week kind of passed, and the pain wouldn't let up, and on my dad's birthday, it's exactly 10 months today. That's so funny. That's weird. But on my dad's birthday of last year, I had been sitting quite a bit doing homework or something, and I was trying to get off my bed, and I felt a pinch in my lower back, and I knew in my gut, I'm like, something just got seriously fucked up. And then it got worse throughout the night to the point where I had to leave his party, come home. I could not get out of my car because my legs went into this manic shock pain thing. I had to like pull myself out of my car. I don't know how in the hell I made it inside the house because our front door was up a flight of stairs. And my bedroom's downstairs, so I had to book it down a flight of stairs, run into my room. I could barely walk, but I had to find a way to lay down. Jumped on my bed, screaming in pain. I mean, screaming. I'm not exaggerating that I was yelling and screaming and crying because of how bad this pain was. And I remember just laying in the dark with tears like just streaming down my cheeks and my legs like that. And I couldn't stop it. And my dad got home and he heard me screaming and he thought I was screaming at him, which I would normally do, but I wasn't screaming at him. I was screaming because I was in pain, and he came into my room, saw me, like I can't stop my legs. And he's like, okay, we're going to the hospital. So he had to haul me out of my bed. I'm like wrapped around his neck because I can't move my legs. Managed to get to the hospital somehow. I'm in a wheelchair, and this is not because there aren't enough words in our vernacular to explain this kind of pain, and everybody feels pain differently. But like the simplest way I can explain it to you, and this might not sound as painful as it actually was, but this is like the closest thing I can think of that people would understand, is that it was like having Charlie horses from your hips to your feet. Like, not letting up, but like to the point where your legs, you could physically see your legs going like this for 5 hours straight without letting up. It hurt to sit. It hurt to stand. I couldn't stand, and it hurt to sit because it was adding pressure to it. Like, I'm sitting there in the waiting room for about an hour with tears coming down my cheeks because I'm in so much pain. And we didn't leave there until, 3, 4 in the morning on April 7th. And I got all these pain meds, and I got muscle relaxants, like, shot into my hip, and my legs finally started to relax. Well, the fucking doctor, I don't know his name, but I'm pissed at him now, said, without taking x-rays or anything, that I had a lumbar strain. And it got better. I couldn't walk for an entire week without assistance of some kind. I would have to call my dad down to help me move, and I have like the pillow that's kind of like a chair that has like a back and arms or whatever. That was because of that, because I couldn't sit up without help. Yeah, and I like had to learn how to dress myself without bending over and stuff. It was very, very hard. But it got a little bit better, but it never ever cleared up. And I mean, even till last week, if I sat too long or if I stood too long, I would feel like I was about to tweak something out of place, and my hips would ache and pinch and burn. This has been going on for 10 months, you guys. Like, it would not let up. So, last Friday, I was like, okay, fuck this shit. I need to go see a chiropractor because this is ridiculous. Went to see the chiropractor, and I have a bit of an issue with chiropractors, only because not because they're bad at their jobs, but because my dad is a bit dependent on them, and he's been going to them for like 30 years, and it's like, if you have to go to the same place for 30 years and the situation hasn't cleared up, there's like a bit of a placebo thing going on. I'll be right back, you guys. I gotta go get some cough drops, and this isn't good. But anyways, like, I knew that I needed to get this checked out, and I was terrified, like, oh my god, I've like gone for so long, I'm gonna need surgery, freaking out. And I wanted to have x-rays done because I would like to see and have a doctor see what is going on. Well, my dad and I got in this kind of weird bet thing that argument that I knew I would need x-rays, and he's like, oh no, they'll just adjust you. I'm like, no, they're gonna take x-rays. So, long story short, they took x-rays after the doctor went through my chart and saw what was wrong. Turns out that, focus. Okay, it turns out that my L5 vertebrae, or the very bottom, I can't talk when I have a cough drop in my mouth. My very bottom vertebrae had moved. It had shifted inwards. It didn't pop out, but it moved into a nerve. Yeah, it was jammed into a nerve, which is why my legs were like, freaking out. And so, and this is where I'm going to talk to him tonight because I have an appointment with him tonight. Woo! For recovery. About this. Hey, that's a piece of grass, you nasty. But he saw it immediately, and he's like, this is the problem. And, he moved the vertebrae back into place. And a lot of people were like, oh, do you need surgery for that? Apparently not, because he did it. I know that sounds a little bit sketchy, and I know a lot of people don't really believe in that, but whatever he did fucking worked, because, when he said he was going to do it, I felt something move and shift, and all that pressure on my hips went away, you guys. Like, I have been in so much pain for the past 10 months, and in one swift movement, that fucking disappeared. And, so it's back in alignment, and I have to heal for 3 months, which is great. I have to wear a brace. I didn't really wear it today, only because, I knew I would be sitting for a long period of time, and it sucks when that brace is like, first of all, if you're big and you got rolls like myself, right? And you have to keep it down by your hips. Well, most of my weight is on my thighs and the poochie area and just the rolls in my stomach. So when I'm sitting, my rolls will smash the middle of that brace together into like this weird kind of, it's just folded, and into my gut, and it makes it really hard to breathe, and it's just uncomfortable, so I just didn't wear it. I should wear it tonight, because the doctor's going to see it, and he's going to see me, so it should look like I've worn it all day, even though I haven't. But anyways, so my back's been fixed, and I feel so much better. I can walk around and sit and stand without it hurting. I mean, it aches because it's been out of place for so long. My hips are like, kind of like, what the hell has happened? But I am in... What are you doing? I'm feeling so much better than I did before. I'm sick. That's new. Oh. This is just a funny story. And I've never heard this term before. Anybody use it since. So, it's just... I went on for like an entire 2 days with my friend that I had in this class. We were talking about this phrase. We're like, what the fuck? In my Renaissance Lit class, we're talking about quite suggestive and sexual poetry, which I enjoy myself. I write stuff like that. I like reading stuff like that, and it's very entertaining to discuss it in a class setting. And our professor, wants to be explicit and as literal as he can about explaining what is happening in the poem, but with taste. And, man, I don't even know what poem we were reading, but this one kid, like, my professor was like, okay, so what's happening here, or whatever, and this one kid, I kid you not, raised his hand and said, I don't even remember what the ending of what he said was, but in it he said, they were just trying to bump uglies. Bump uglies. I had never heard bump uglies or bumpin' uglies ever in my life. So I'm that in class because I never heard the term before. It was like such a raunchy, crude not a nice phrase to use. And I looked over at my friends and we're both like cracking up in class. Has anybody ever heard the term bumpin' uglies? Because that's like just not not a good image. It doesn't sound appealing either. Bumpin' uglies. It just doesn't. I really don't think I have anything else to share with you guys. My life is like super, super boring. So, yeah. Yeah. It was just, I mean, nothing has really happened at all. My life, God, my life really is boring and really sad. But I just wanted to do this little update thingy. I have no idea when I'm going to post this. It'll either be the day that I'm making it, or tomorrow or something when I have time and I'm not super tired. But, yeah, that's what I got.